But people always be like, no new friends, no new friends. But some people need new friends. Like y'all need to
Facts.
you need to create another circle,
Facts.
outside of the circle that you have. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's okay to go outside your comfort zone and meet different people and befriend different
Yep.
people. But when we network, just don't try to network with somebody to get something out of it either.
Yeah, exactly.
Networking is just you introduce yourself. You may not want nothing. You just like, hey man, my name's X, Y, and Z. Just want to let
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm here. This is what I do. I would love to,
Yep.
maybe just chop it up with you. A cup of coffee every now and again, once a month. Or hey,
Yep.
can I touch base with you? Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Armand on a good Easter Sunday. Hanging with my boy Tyreek. Man, what's going on, man? Listen, we here dropping another episode. I got my dog with me. Me and this guy go way back. You know what I'm saying? Like, soon as I kind of got out of college, just him, Keith, the gang, just going at it, grinding. Obviously, we know I left South Carolina, went to Texas, and did all that good stuff. But those guys are still hustling, bustling, getting it in, grinding. And so let me tell y'all about my guest, man. I got Tyreik Lyles, age 26. His career, he's in recruiting. He went to Wofford College. He has his degree in chemistry. Years in his profession is 3. Man, listen, if y'all don't do nothing else, y'all need to pay attention to what this man is about to say. Because even at 26, this man got so much game, so much wisdom. At a young age, it don't make no sense. And he always been like this, man. So, Reek, say what's up to the podcast, bro.
What's good, Brody? How you been, man?
Man, not good, bro. Chilling. You know what I'm saying? Living life. Like I said, we chopped it up before everything just went live. And so, you know how it is, just been kicking it, man. But it's all about you right now, man. We got prime time, 45 minutes to an hour, just talking about Reek and just everything that you've been through and just the game that you about to give and knowledge and gems. Because I know you just been through a lot, especially in the
Yep.
entrepreneurial space, man. This is one of the guys that I
Yep.
call a serial, entrepreneur as far as just staying dedicated to the process and embracing everything that come with it. So I know
Yep.
he's gonna have something big for y'all, man. But listen, Reek,
Yep. Big facts.
we can't go no further after we do two truths and a lie, man. We gotta get it in. So let
Yeah, I
me.
think I'm gonna get you tonight.
We gonna
I
see.
got something
We
for you.
gonna we gonna see. Let me hear what you got.
Cool. So two truths and a lie. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. So the first one, obviously in high school, obviously I got a chemistry degree going to college. So the first one, I was valedictorian of my high school class.
Okay.
The second one would be I was dang, I just lost my train of thought. So the second one would be I was prom prince, prom king, and homecoming king, all in high school.
Right.
And then the third one is that I was actually going to go to school to be a dentist. So
Mm.
let's see.
So the first one you said what was I know it's yeah, that's what it
Valedictorian,
is.
my high
Yeah,
school
so
class.
okay, so
Yep.
valedictorian. Second one was you prom king, uh
Prom prince
prom
and homecoming
prince,
king.
homecoming king, okay, and
Yep.
then you wanted to go to school to be a dentist. Dang. Is there one like I feel like this is one of those ones that it's like none of these apply. Like they all
None of them
it's a
apply.
trick question. Dang. Bro, to know this guy, y'all gotta know. Like, I feel like being a prom king, prince, like that was true. Like I mean, I just feel like that was you. Your style, you was that guy. You know, when we talk about Spartanburg, just that guy. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's true. The only ones I'm confused about is Dennis and valedictorian. And valedictorian, that's the highest, right? Is that the highest
Yeah.
or second highest? Cause it's
It's the
a
highest.
okay, so it's the highest.
Yep. Hmm.
Yo, bro. Mm. A
See, we're
dentist?
gonna get him today, y'all.
A dentist? I mean, he got good teeth, y'all. So I don't know, man. My boy look like he taking care of his teeth. He flossing every day. God, I'm gonna say dentist is the lie. I'm gonna say dentist is the lie. No. I ain't about to. No, I ain't doing that. I ain't gonna say dentist. I'm gonna say the middle one. Freak. I'm gonna say
No, he
I'm
could.
just gonna say the middle one. I'm gonna say prom, king, prince, all that. I think you were a prom king. I don't know if you hit all of them, but I do feel like that you was a valedictorian. I mean, you smart as I don't know what, man. And then go to school for a dentist. I can see that, bro. Like you wanna help
Yeah.
people, be a dentist, all that good stuff. So I'm gonna say the middle one is a lie.
We got you tonight. We got you today. We got you. Yes,
What was
sir.
the lie? Because
So
I double
yeah,
back.
so I'm gonna run. Yeah, so I'm gonna run through them.
Damn.
So the valedictorian was the lie. Although I was smart. I mean, I was top three. I was top three highest GPA on my high school team for 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
But I wasn't valedictorian. I was top 10. I was top 10%. So, but we had a big class. So we had 550 students in my graduating class, and I was top 10%. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
I was prom prince, prom king, and homecoming king. I was all three of those. It's funny because for prom prince and prom king, my cousin, she won prom prince and or prom queen and prom princess, I guess, which is crazy to think that we won both of those. But yeah, I hit all three of them. And then going to school to be a dentist, that was my initial plan. So
yeah,
got you.
Hey,
I knew I had to make them. I knew I had to make them close to where it made it. You know what I'm saying? So,
but this thing about it, I wanted to say, well, at first I was gonna say dentist, but I was like, nah, I believe it. That's what made me go back to the middle. But then I really did. I didn't second guess valedictorian just because I knew, like, I mean, I knew you were smart, so I was just like, man, he could have definitely been valid. I was just like, dang. Okay, cool. So you got me. Whatever. Man, I've been taking L's left and right these days, man. I used to have a little streak. Now I'm losing.
Part of the game.
Yeah, I'm losing like crazy now. But that's what's up, man. So talk to me about. I mean, what changed your mind being a dentist, man? Dentist is cool.
So funny enough, and it's kind of led me to where I am today. But initially, I went to school and wanted to get in the medical field. The reason being is because I knew I wanted to help people.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, when you go to school, you're trying to figure out what pays. I mean, that's just the reality. If you're not going to school to figure out what's going to pay you the most money, then you tripping. And so, what happened is, I did do an internship through my school, and we had like what we call J term or interim. I don't know if y'all had that at North Greenville or not. Mm-hmm. But basically, it was a month out of the year where you did internships, you could travel, do whatever you want to do. Yeah. And so during that time, I went down to MUSC. I went to MUSC for a week, and then I also did internships at the dental offices here in the upstate. Okay. And just being there, I mean, it wasn't necessarily. I got a real quick picture of, could I really do this for the next 40 years? Mm-hmm. And I just felt like I couldn't, know. And here's what did it for me. I was at a dental office. And the guy really liked me and things of that nature. And he was like in his 40s. I mean, he was obviously doing well. Yeah. Great. It was his own practice. And he was like, I'm doing great here, but, Ty's going to be finishing up school in a couple of years, and then he'll be able to take over my spot because my back's starting to hurt. And I just thought about that. And the fact that he even made that comment, it really started making me think, like, do I really want to be in this box for the next 40 years? Right. And so that's what started kind of opening my mind and turning the wheels. Because there's not like there's a lot of entrepreneurs in my family or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But I just always knew I wanted to be successful and help a lot of people. Right. And so that's what's kind of steered me away and started opening my mind to what is out there where I can start to create that lifestyle of a dentist, but not have to take on the demands of a dentist. So
yeah, that's hard. Yeah. Man, that's hard. I mean, listen, if you would have became a dentist, I would have came to see you, like, listen, I got a cavity right here, you know what I'm saying?
Get me right.
But nah, that's what's up, man. So, obviously, you watching the show and you being kind of a fan of what's going on, man, you already know, like, I love to just kind of take it back as far as, was that the original plan? You know what I'm saying? As a young age, like, I want to say, like, middle school, you was just like, I'm going to go to school to be a dentist. That was the game plan?
Yeah, so that wasn't necessarily the game plan when I was in middle school. The
Yeah.
game plan, just like all of us, is to play pro ball.
Okay.
I've played football. Football was my go-to. So actually in high school, I played receiver and safety.
Yeah.
And I was a legit receiver, bro. I won MVP my freshman year of the entire team.
Yeah.
I was like that. I take it off your head.
He tough. I'm gonna give it to him.
And then obviously I played ball in college and played outside linebacker. And so just when I got to school, here's one thing I'll say. When I was headed off to college, the reason I chose Wofford is because I always had the mindset is if football doesn't work out, I need a plan B. Because I had heard the term NFL stands for not for long. Yeah. And so I didn't want to be one of those guys that I was living on that dream so much that I didn't have a plan to go with it.
Yeah.
And so that's what made me honestly choose my school. I knew that I needed to have a career outside of football, and that's what made me choose that route. So that's where my dream initially started. It initially started with playing ball, but then transitioned into medicine. Going into my senior year, I was, like I said, I was looking at what pays the most, but I can still have kind of the lifestyle. Yeah. And it was medicine. And I always had a knack for naturally helping people. Yeah. So that's what kind of steered me into the medical field direction.
Man, I believe it, man. Dude got a heart of gold, man. One of the solidest dudes I
appreciate
know. That's why I'm glad you're on the show, man. Just because people just don't realize you need to have people like Tyreek in the world because it just make the world a better place. You know what I'm saying? Not saying he's perfect or anything like that, but you know what I'm saying? He gonna do everything from his heart. You know what I'm saying? Whatever if you need something, he gonna be like, yeah, I got you. If he can't do it, like, man, I can't do it right now, but let me know something pop up. I can come help you.
That's a fact.
And so that's why, people like you know what I'm saying? I love to sit down with people like you just because y'all voice, your voice gotta be heard, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people it gets overshadowed because obviously you're not doing what everybody else doing, but you doing it the right way, or what we know is the right way. And so we talk about, and you mentioned not for long, you know what I'm saying? You heard the term for NFL, not for long. Like who was putting this game in your ear? Because a lot of people don't have that game as far as like, oh, I need a backup plan, or you know what I'm saying? Or it's like it's ball or nothing. Like, did you have any type of mentorships? Did you have people that that was just like an uncle? You know what I'm saying? Some people got an uncle, some people got a dad. You know what I'm saying? Like who feeding you like that mindset of like, hey, bro, like do your thing and ball, but don't forget we need a backup plan if this don't work out.
Yeah, great question. So it was actually my coaches. So a lot of people, I mean, if you know me, but I played at Burns. Yeah. Where obviously at the time we were still one of the top dogs in the upper state. I know you guys were too at South Point. We'll talk about that another time, guys.
Another time.
But I had that's a whole nother topic. But my head coach, so my head coach was Bobby Bentley. So he actually, he was one of the winningest coaches in South Carolina. He went and coached college ball as well, and then he came back. And then during that time that he came back, we had Corey Miller. He played defensive end, played at the University of Tennessee. We had obviously Marcus Lattimore. He was one of the biggest things to come out of upstate. Played running back at South Carolina. Yeah. We had Nick Miller. He played receiver at South Carolina. We had all these. We were number one in the country at one point in time in football. And you're talking about with the St. Thomas Aquinas and all those guys. Yeah. And, when the reason that conversation started happening is because I never forget when Marcus. I was just coming out of middle school, going into high school, and it was like Marcus's last year. Yeah. He went and played at South Carolina, and then those couple years while I was still in high school, obviously he messed up his knee. Yeah. He went to the league, but he messed up his knee and couldn't play anymore. Yep. So actually, Coach Bentley was one of the first coaches that started putting that bug in my ear, because he had seen it. He had coached some of the best to ever come through South Carolina to play football. He had seen. These were top of the top guys. These were guys you're like, there's no way they don't make it to the league. Yeah. And then you would see these guys not make it to the league, or you would see a guy like Marcus, due to the injury, not be able to be in the league for long at all. Yeah. And so that he started putting that bug into our ears of like, guys, I know you guys love football, but make sure you got a backup plan and at least your family is set, even if football doesn't work out. So that was the coolest part about the program that I played in. Yeah. It was bigger than football. Football was a lot to us. but they taught us so much more to life. There's more to life than football, basically.
Yeah.
So as much as I loved it and much as I still wanted to pursue that dream, I understood I needed to have a safety net if that window doesn't open up for me.
That's a fact, bro. Like I just had to know because some, like I said, it's some guys that we play with. They gonna live and die by the pigskin. No, you know what I'm saying? Like it's NFL or no way, or it's NFL or nothing.
Yep.
Because they just think like obviously it just depends on how you grow up. You know what I'm saying? Like if that's all you know, like growing up, we see people going to the league, making so much money and changing they your life. Generational curses, which is great, phenomenal. Like I'm not here to shoot down anybody's dream. What I'm here to say is the numbers. Like when we talk about just the facts are only about 1%, 2% of the people that play football from all the way from like high school up into college. Only 1 to 2% of those people actually make it to the NFL. So it's like you got to be like a super top notch talent. To make it to the NFL, you got to have you got to be super blessed. I don't want to say luck, but just super blessed to be certain doors open and you're able to make a way. But what about the other 98% of the people that don't make it? You know what I'm saying? And you see kind of like
exactly.
You see some emotional pieces towards that where your dream this is your first time your dream is getting crushed. You know what I'm saying? Like how do you bounce back from that? You know what I'm saying? Mentally. And I feel like if more players had the mindset of, okay, NFL is plan A, not saying you're not gonna go 100% all in, but I also have a plan B, so that way I'm not so reliant and reluctant on plan A. So if plan A fail, mentally I'm not messed up. I'm not harping on what I should have did, what I can do to continue to make it to the NFL. But I got my chemistry degree. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly. And something that I think that a lot of guys that happen, that I've seen, and I know you've seen as well, that happens to a lot of guys, is their identity gets wrapped around football instead of them wrapping their identity around their purpose.
Right.
Because football is just a vehicle, but understand there are other vehicles that can give you the life. Because most guys at the end of the day, they may love the game of football, but why are they really doing it? And when you dig into that why, then you see the bigger picture and you're like, okay, this football thing, whether it works out or not, I still have my purpose and I still have my why to what I'm doing. Let me find a vehicle that can provide that. And that was something that I'm just very thankful that I understood early on, is that football wasn't going to make or break me because I knew my identity. And so my identity wasn't wrapped up in football where I was still trying to chase that dream. And another thing, too, is that's a vehicle that is out of your control. You can control your work ethic and you can control your habits. But at the end of the day, it's up to them if they decide to write you a check or not. And so that was something else I didn't want to rely on either. I wanted to be one of those guys that I understood that I wanted to be able to build a vehicle that I had control over and that I could determine the outcome at the end of the day. So
that's what's up, man. And then you talked about, you hit on something big, it's major. It's like pretty much the reason why people wake up every single day, besides just saying that you got breath in you, is like your why. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you go out here and put yourself through X, Y, Z? Like, think about it. Like, to put yourself through, a football college program, you got to have a strong why. Like, it's not for the weak at mine. You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
All 4 years, you could be broken, you could be challenged, you can, you know what I'm saying? But you got to find a reason to pick yourself back up off the grass and go back and not bang heads again, or you know what I'm saying? So it's just like you got to have a strong why, and whether that's monetary, whether it's not monetary, but just can you tell the people just a quick what's your why? You know what I'm saying? Just a quick pitch, like what keeps Reek moving every single day? Like, what you chasing, man?
So my why's changed a little bit over the years, of course. But just to give you a quick backdrop on me, and it'll tie into my why, of course. I came from a home of a single mother, raising 4 kids. I was the oldest of 4, and two of my biggest driving factors is I said I wanted to be the best husband that my father never was to my mom. I wanted to be the best dad that my dad never was to me. And so those are 2 very driving factors for me from the family side of things. That makes me get up in the morning and just go hard because I wanted to always be able to if I'm being real, I wanted to be the guy in the family that, Uncle Reek, like we can go to Uncle Reek's house and we know we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
I want to go to my brother's house. I know I'm gonna be taken care of, or be the guy within somebody's network that this is a guy that I want to be connected with.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I was very blessed and fortunate that God gave me that vision early on. But I think it came from me understanding what I didn't want in life. Because I seen what average provided our family.
Yeah.
I seen what a father not being present in the home provided for the family. I seen, my mom busting her butt and trying to make ends meet. I seen what that provided. Yeah. So I understood what I did not want. And so that's been my driving force all the way up until this point is, I want to be the dude, like within my family. I want to be that guy, be the provider, be somebody that people look up to within the community, that they understand, like, this is a guy that we can count on. And if I put my child or my family around this guy, they're going to become a better person because of it.
Thanks. Man, that's crazy, man. And we already knew we kind of share a similar story, similar background story. But what I come to realize, as I get older, is that that's awesome. That it's a lot of pressure behind putting that, saying that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we know what we don't want, because we seen the worst, right? We seen what was not okay. But to say at a young age, like, this is you taking on that pressure of, like, you're gonna be an example of something you never seen before. You see what I'm saying? So it's like that pressure and just everything, even as you go through life, there's things being tossed at you. You may not handle it, maybe in the best way. And so then you kind of just be like, I probably should have handled that a little bit better. Or it's like, or if you do mess up, it's like you own yourself so hard because I made a mistake because I didn't want to be exactly what you know what I'm saying? So it's like that pressure.
Facts.
And then also, as I get older too, I also have more, and I don't know if this is for you too, but I also have a little bit more understanding in the sense of being, parents being super young, having kids. Y'all ain't nothing but you ain't nothing but kids. I can't, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, I didn't ask to be here. And so there is responsibility that, this should have been taken care of. But me going through, if I would have had that same problem, I probably would have ended up this, you know what I'm saying? Wait, that's a lot. And so that as I get older and just get a little bit more understanding that, mistakes are easily made and people cast judgment so quick. You know what I'm saying? Without understanding the full picture. Have you ever had any type of revelations like that, or are you, or because that pain or that some of that pain that we used to have is what really made us perform at very high level, because it's like, all right, look.
Very true.
But then after you get older and you kind of, you release, you don't really harp on the pain. It's more or less, I'm harping on, I guess what keeps me moving is I still want to be that example, but I also give myself grace too. You know what I'm saying? Because anything could happen. Do you see that sometimes, or you have conversations to people like that when you know what I'm saying, as you got older?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And for me, like, I'm very big with helping kids.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I can't be in there like 24/7. But if there's a parent that, hey, I would love for you to be there for my child or support them, or, just be that male role model in their life, I take that chance any day of the week.
Yeah.
And so me understanding where I came from, and they usually are coming from that similar situation, it does make me a lot more, it does make me empathetic and sympathize with them, but also still holding them to a certain standard. Sure. And so, I've absolutely been that way, especially as I've gotten older, because I understand, because I've been there. And then as far as me personally, growing up, making mistakes, learning from them, and continue to grow, I understand that I'm not going to be perfect. Yeah. And so I was a big critic. I mean, I still am, but not to the way that I was early on.
Right.
I am my biggest critic, but I do give myself grace now. A lot more than I used to, because I understand that I just got to keep failing forward and understand that I'm not going to get everything right. Because like you said, this is the first, you're the first person doing it. You're the first person with that big dream or those big goals that it's like, they stretch you. You like, cause is this really going to happen? But you just got to keep pushing through, because you got to understand that you were given that vision for a reason, and it will come to pass. Maybe not on your timeline, but it will come to pass as long as you stay steady and consistent. So, yeah, I'm definitely in that same boat with you, man.
Oh, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Like mine. Hey, but listen, cool, man. So we're gonna keep going. Keeping the conversation forward. But obviously we went to college. We played ball, outstanding linebacker. You got accolades and just what I'm saying, was a great teammate, things of that nature.
Yep.
What is talk to me outside, after you graduated, what was your process? You know what I'm saying? What was next? Did you have a job lined up? Did you know what you were going to do? Like what happened to you from, after graduation? Like what was next for you? What was your plan?
Yeah, absolutely. So honestly, once I decided I'm not going to go the dental route, I made that decision and started looking into other avenues, other opportunities. Obviously, I knew I needed a stable source of income, but I really was open-minded. I kind of started looking into the entrepreneurial route. Ended up in the direct sales industry, or what people know as network marketing.
Yeah.
That was my first, taste of outside of school. That was my first taste. Like I was still in school actually when I got started in direct sales industry.
Yeah.
But that really opened my mind and expanded my network. That actually got me into my corporate career today. Okay. So just through networking, meeting people, making good relationships. For my corporate career, I ended up in recruiting. I started in the engineering field. It was very natural for me, especially with me coming from the direct sales industry. It was something I jumped in full force, and I've seen success in it tremendously over the last 3 years. So that's why I kind of started out. I started out in direct sales network marketing industry. Along the way, met a guy that he was in the recruiting industry in the corporate realm. He said, "Hey, I know you're a good guy. I know you have a good work ethic. We actually have a opening that you may be a good fit for." Yeah. I ended up interviewing, no experience at all from the corporate realm. So 3 months out of school, I ended up in recruiting in the corporate field. Yeah. And one thing I'll say about that is one of the biggest things that I think anybody, I don't care what age you are, the best thing you can do for yourself is, I don't care if you're in high school, you're in college, you're already in your corporate career, the best thing you can do for yourself is network. Yeah. Because every job that I can think as far as back as it, the only exception was my very first job out of when I was in high school. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, every single opportunity that I've come across, it's been through my network. Yeah. It's been through me knowing somebody and then being able to vouch this is a good dude, and me getting that opportunity. And yeah, I did an interview, but it was like, I'm probably gonna get the job because it was a referral. Right. Somebody that already trusted me, so they were able to speak for like the character that I had, the work ethic that I had, and it just made the process seamless and easy. Just because it's like, this is probably a guy that would be a good fit for your organization and your team. And any opportunity that I've been a part of, it came from my network. So I think that's a little gem that people kind of overlook. Yeah. Whether in the industry that you're in, like networking is huge. That is hands down the best thing that you can do, because you'll end up behind doors that you would have never even thought you were qualified for.
Right. Why do you think it's so hard for people to kind of network? I think it's really us, like our own mindset. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? As far as But I would love to hear why you think. Why? I mean, because a lot of people that know the power, like okay. When you mention networking, right? Like the way you talked about, like, hey, networking is probably one of the most important things. That's a gem, right? But some of that gem may go over people's head just because they haven't really witnessed the power of networking. You know what I'm saying? They haven't really gotten the opportunity off of networking. They pretty much they've been really making it on their own. Applying and just getting the opportunity. But some of the when we talk about 10 times, exponentially growing, or 10x in our income, things of that nature, that comes from like networking opportunities of you probably getting it. You know what I'm saying? So like, why do you feel like do you feel like it's hard for people to network?
I think, and especially within our community, the Black community, I think it's just you don't know what you don't know. Yeah. And I really think that's what it is. Because if you look at other communities, that's the environment that they grow up in. Mm-hmm. Jim, you need to meet Johnny. Johnny is in this industry, XYZ, that you said you're interested in. Here's a connection. Boom. They go build a company together. Boom. They make it 6 and 7 figures all through a network. Right. And within our community, it's just something that's not talked about enough. I don't think. I think it's something that just people just aren't aware of, especially at an early age. Because and a lot of people just kind of float through life and they just don't know that. Yeah. So I think it's honestly, dude, I think it's something that's just not talked about enough. Yeah. That when you're in high school, when you're in college, do right by people, respect people, and network with people, because you never know what that relationship is. And that's all it comes down to. It comes down to relationships. But it's just something that people, I think, are not aware of. And it's something that we as a community need to talk about more, because we've seen the power of it. I know you've seen the power. I've seen the power of it. Yeah. We have plenty of examples of people that have used the power of networking and changing their life. Yeah. So I think it's something that's just foreign to people, that they just kind of float through life and they just don't even think about it.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? When I start, and I only thought about it till just now, but when you hear the word networking, you know, for some people that's a terrifying word. Like, you mean I gotta go out here and talk to people? I gotta put myself out there. But when I think about, okay, so, and I would tell people, like, when you think about networking, like, people got this no new friends, right? That's no new friends, no new friends. I like meeting people. I like creating friends, and it doesn't mean, like, when I say friend, maybe another word should be acquaintance, right? People use levels of words, right? Oh, this is an acquaintance. Like, I know him, but he's not my friend. But I'm like, nah, they might. If you a good person, and we can talk and have a conversation, okay, you my friend now. But see what I mean. But just because you're my friend don't mean I'm gonna let you into my personal, you know what I'm saying, my personal bubble and things of that nature, as far as treating you like a brother or a sister. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's different levels to it. But people always be like, no new friends, no new friends. But some people need new friends. Like, y'all need to you need to create another circle, you know, outside of the circle that you have. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to go outside your comfort zone and meet different people and befriend different people. But when we network, just don't try to network with somebody to get something out of it either.
Yeah, exactly.
Networking is just you introduce yourself. You may not want nothing. You just like, hey man, my name is X, Y, and Z. Just want to let you know, you know, I'm here. This is what I do. I would love to, you know, maybe just chop it up with you. You know, a cup of coffee every now and again, once a month. Or hey, can I touch base with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like networking. Exactly. When we think about it, people refer to networking as like somebody giving them something, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I made this connection, so something's gonna come out of it. You can network with so many people, and nothing may not come out at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not even 5 years from now. But that 8th, 10th year, you've been stressing, tripping. That connection that you've been building up, it could be, you know, hey, somebody just they let go a job. It's a 6-figure job. Just want to know if you was open. You know what I'm saying? So like,
facts.
I just think
sometimes, I think the greatest example of that is I was it's funny enough, I was at a North Greenville football game. I don't even remember why. I was just there, but I ended up just starting a conversation with a guy that was standing beside me. It was very casual, like no intentions behind it at all. Come to find out, he's a 7-figure sales guy. That, I mean, he makes a bunch of money. I mean, he's loaded. And there was no intentions behind it at all, but we ended up exchanging contacts. You know, I talked to him about me going to Wofford and kind of shared my story a little bit with him. And we just had a solid conversation. And he was like, dude, I would love to stay in contact with you. And so he grabbed my number and we stayed in contact. And he'll text me every 3 to 6 months. He'll text me, hey, you were on my mind today. Yeah. Just hope things are going well. You know, we haven't grabbed lunch yet. Well, we'll probably grab lunch soon. Maybe this year, next. I don't know when, but you just never know where that door could lead to. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's just being normal, just having conversation with people when you're out. Just don't just be out and just on your phone the whole time and just you know, casually not paying attention to humanity. Like, it's just you're being a very normal person. And you don't have to have any intention behind it, but you never know that connection that you might have, that you might make, that might change your life.
Facts. So then, we not gonna we obviously we know, you know, the recruiting side, we're gonna dive into that. And the biggest thing I do want to say is, you know, what has been some of your biggest or your hardest maybe times, what I'm saying, like that you might have had to overcome. Like what are some of the, what's one of those things that, maybe that you went through that, really had you up at night, stressing, thinking, because everybody knows, when you talk to people and we have conversations like this, obviously I'm highlighting the good, but it's even with good, there's a lot of bad that people don't talk about that people had to
Yeah.
overcome. I'm not gonna say bad, but just life lessons that people had to go into, learn from, develop, and then come out on the other side and really be prosperous. And you just built another layer of tough skin, because you getting ready to go into that
Yeah.
season, being prepared for your, for a bigger blessing. So, what I mean, has there any been times in your life where you were just like, man, I don't know, like what I'm
Yeah.
doing, you know what I'm saying, like where I'm
Yeah.
going,
Facts.
this ain't making sense, like what's up?
Yeah. Great question. So honestly, I think it would be my upbringing. If I'm being real with you,
Yeah,
the upbringing, the home that I was brought up in. I mean, it was obviously that's a long period of time. It's not one specific season.
for sure.
But I mean, we came from bottom of the barrel, bro. I mean, below what they say, ground floor. We were below ground. We were in the basement. I mean, when you talk about, obviously we always had a roof over our head and things of that nature. But when you think of a single parent with 4 kids by the age of 20, by the time she was 23, I mean, that is not easy as a single parent.
Yeah.
And so it built my tough skin early on. And I'm thankful for it because it shaped and molded me into the man I am today.
Yeah.
Where I was never lazy. I always had a work ethic. I always wanted to pursue big dreams and goals. Yeah. And I just always wanted to make something of myself. But one thing I will say that my mama always taught us is she always taught us respect and to have good character.
Yeah.
Those are the two things that I would give my mama high praises for. Because when you think about, and I'm sure a lot of your audience can relate to this, when you come from an environment that you don't see successful people. You don't see somebody pulling up in a Lambo or the Rolls Royce. I mean, you grow up in an apartment your whole life. You don't take a lot of trips. You might take a trip to Myrtle Beach at once every 3-4 years.
Right.
I mean, you grow up in an environment where you don't get to see that there's so much more out there in the world, and that you're capable of a lot more than you may think you are. So that always pushed me to put myself in the right environments, hang around the right people. Early on, I think a part of that was I was just blessed that God had his hand over me.
Right.
But it really always kept me out of trouble, and I always put myself in the right environment because I knew I wanted to make something by myself. I was like, the situation I came from, I do not want that life. And so it put me in a position where I put myself out there and always challenged myself. I always wanted to grow mentally because I didn't want that life,
Facts. I think, pretty much what you talked about is just, it's kind of, I think if I'm putting myself in your shoes and just kind of understanding where you come from, it's just like having that, having that kind of, maybe the rough patch in the beginning, being so tough, everything beyond that point is great. You know what I'm saying? I'm having straight up. I'm having an adventure. You know what I'm saying? When you at zero, you can only do nothing but go up. So it's like
that's a fact.
So your charisma, every day you wake up, it's like, man, I get an opportunity. It's not. I hear people say it all the time. It's not like they be like, it's not. I have to. You know what I'm saying? I have to get up. I have to go to the gym or something like that. But it's. I can. I get to. Go to the gym. I get to. It's not something I have to do, but I have the luxury to be able to do that. And as you get older and you start to, get married and just career, taking off, having a little bit more money just to do more things and be able to bless people more. It's like, man, like you start to become the person that you said you wanted to become, as far as like, Uncle Reek, I want to come to your crib, or like people could pull up and see you like, Reek, what's up? You know what I'm saying? And to me, being that person, is a dream come true, and just you know, the only person you really can thank is God. You know what I'm saying? As far as just how far you came, and you know, because you could have made so many different turns. You could have went left at any given time. You know, easy. You could have went left, but something was, you know, guiding you to the right, pulling you to the right, made you miss this situation. You wasn't at this house party. You wasn't at this location at this specific time. You was somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, when you really think about it, it's like you beat the odds already. So now everything else is just added bonus. You know what I'm saying? Added bonus.
Listen, I ate the bologna sandwiches. I ate the ramen noodles. I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there where that was all you were eating.
Right.
Bologna. Boy, bologna was the go-to.
Hey, bologna still fine now. It's still fine.
Still fine. but life looks a little different now. Obviously, I ain't. I'm still growing. I'm not where I want to be, but life definitely looks different. Here's the coolest part. What I'm very humbled by. My life at 26 looks very different than my mom's life looked at 26.
Right.
But that was the goal, and I don't mean that to be like demeaning to my mom or anything. She's an amazing woman. But just to think like where I'm at at 26 and where my family's life will be at in the next 20 years. I mean, it's just, I can't do anything but give God the credit, because I'm nothing special. He just gave me the work ethic and the vision to just go hard at life. And that's something I'm very, very thankful for.
Yeah. And that, like you said, that's no knock on your mom. Your mom probably prayed for that. I know, everybody's parents want better for their kids than what they had. So where you at right now is exactly what your mama probably prayed for, exactly where she, imagined you would be. And I'm pretty sure she thankful that you there. You know what I'm saying? So, for real, like that's love. But cool, man. So we talked about that as far as just, you know what I'm saying? Just a couple of things that, maybe hardships that you had to overcome and just the thought process. But I want to go into, we talk about, you got the opportunity through networking 3 months in to recruiting. What is it that you do on a day-to-day basis, and, what makes it, what makes you, you know what I'm saying? Like, what makes you, because I'm pretty sure you go to your job and you want to be the best at your job. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you probably got things outside that you want to be the best at and that you still working on. But, as a competitor, as an athlete, I know with recruiting, there's commission sometimes involved, so we obviously want to get paid the most. But what do you do on a day-to-day, and what makes you the man?
Yeah, great question. So funny enough, I actually just transitioned to a new company probably about 3 months. It was at the end of December, and it was so crazy because I came off of my highest grossing year ever in my life, and then I jumped off the cliff. Which is so crazy to think, but it was just because I wanted to give myself a new challenge. But in the IT in the recruiting world in general, at the end of the day, you make placements. So what you do is you help people get jobs. Yeah. And so say a client calls and they call our company and they say, hey, we got a job for a developer. We need somebody in the door in the next 2 weeks. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hop on the job platforms, whether that's LinkedIn, Indeed, ZipRecruiter, whatever it is, the platform that I use. I'm going to hop on there, and there's 2 different ways of recruiting. There's corporate recruiting, which is kind of sit back, post and pray. You post the job boards, right, and you hope the people come in. And then there's what we call what I call headhunter recruiting. And so you really going out there and making it happen. You going to find the people. So that's what I do. And I've been doing that since I got in the industry. And it's so crazy to think where I came from when I first got in the industry to now. But yeah, you're hopping on the phone. You're finding the qualified candidates for the job. You're getting them interviews. You're getting them the job, and then you're putting them on payroll. And the coolest thing about it is, if you are in a place in your life, you're obviously done with high school, you're going into college, or you're skipping the college phase. Yeah. I tell anybody, go into the sales industry. Yeah. I don't care if it's recruiting. I don't care if it's traditional sales. And the reason I say this is because you're going to learn so many intangible things in this industry that you won't learn anywhere else. You're going to learn how to work with people. You're going to learn how to communicate properly. You're going to learn to pick up, on people's hangups, what their doubts are, what their fears are, and getting those out the way so we can say, okay, this sounds like a good idea. And so that's the coolest thing about it is I talk to, I do cold calling. I talk to people that I've never met in person.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to be able to build that rapport and things with them over the phone to where they trust me, because these people are leaving their job to go to another opportunity.
Yeah.
And they don't know me from Adam's house cat. You know what I'm saying? And so it's so much, on the surface level, I'm a recruiter. I call people, help them get a job.
Yeah.
But it's so much deeper than that. And you learn so many skills within the sales industry overall. And so it's fun for me because it is competitive. You do get commission paid for it. So obviously I want to make the most commission I can.
Yeah.
So you want to get as many people on payroll as possible. But obviously it's a win-win situation because you want to have a vested interest in them because you want it to be a good opportunity for them. But obviously you want to get paid as well. So just being transparent with people. But I set those personal goals on a daily, weekly basis and a quarterly basis. Because obviously I'm and it's cool because I'm at a new company now.
Yeah.
And so, they got the guys that are doing $20,000 a week in gross margin sales.
Yeah.
I want to be one of those guys. And so I'm the new guy on the block, but I think I've made like 11 deals in 3 months.
Okay.
And they're like, who is this new guy? But just I don't care what you do. Just go at it full force and hit it hard because it can change your life if you choose for it to. But make sure, like I said, you're in the right vehicle to do it.
That's a fact. Man, you like I said, you said something that is really true as far as like in the sales industry, you do learn a lot of, like you said, intangible skills. And, for me, one of the biggest things was organization. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Organization is huge because I'm in sales. You know what I'm saying? I still continue to do sales, and it's in a different way now. It's not kind of like the direct sales, but it's sales. You know what I'm saying? But I learned so much through just picking up cold calling, losing the fear. Like some people hate cold calling, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
To me, what's crazy is I used to, be the people in the middle of the mall and used to try to directly ask people, hey, listen, let me borrow your wrist real quick, and try to sell them on maybe a skincare product or a curling iron. I'm 6'2". I was 280 something at the time. You know what I'm saying? Trying to curl some girl's hair. Like I got a low cut at the time. I ain't had this. I'm cut, faded, and they buying from me. But and I was just like, if I could do that and get rejected in person, cold calling to me is like lightweight. Like, oh, you hung up? Okay, cool. I ain't gotta see you. I ain't gotta. You know what I'm saying? So you do learn a lot of intangible skills, and sales is the only. I believe the only profession where the money is not capped. You know what I'm saying? Depending on where you go, because in sales is always based on you and your productivity, and then if they say, hey, the sky's the limit, then you can shoot for the skies. It's all on you. So that's why they always try to say athletes are usually really great at sales because they understand the work I put in is what I get out. So you give them a goal, they set for it, and then they working a way to chop at the blocks to get it. And that's why companies like sales. Do you find that I guess as an athlete, everything that you learned, has that helped you, in your job as a recruiter? You know what I'm saying? Like, what skills have you correlated from being a college athlete to sales?
Yeah, absolutely. And being an athlete and going into sales, it definitely helped me out. And the reason I say that, a couple of skills that it helped me with, being mentally tough, because in football, you got that one coach that he don't care who you are. He gonna try to hurt your feelings. And so that was something that going into the sales industry that it definitely helped me out with, is having that thick skin already, and being able to take rejection, being disciplined. In sports, say you play football, and you blitzing off the edge or you blitzing through the A gap, you better be in that gap, because the one time you not, like that dude is gone, especially if Armand comes, like he up out of there. And so those are two definitely discipline skills that they taught me. And then one that I think people kind of miss or they don't think about is the consistency. Because in sales, like you said, here's how I look at it. When it comes to sports, if you want to be that guy, it's you versus you. Like at the end of the day, you could be worried about the other guy, but if you're doing what you know you're supposed to do, you showing up every day, you coming early, staying late,
Facts.
like you gonna be the guy. If you got obviously the skill set.
Yeah.
In sales is the same way. If you're gonna be that guy, you got to be the most consistent in the room. Because here's how I look at it. Anybody can come in and make, let's say anybody can come in and make $1,000 in a day.
Right.
But I'll take the guy that can make $100 a day for a year. I'll take that guy over the guy that can make $1,000 a day.
Yeah.
And that's where that consistency comes in. And you got to be a consistent person. And it's easier said than done. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But that's one of the things I think that I learned in sports that kind of correlated into life and being in sales as well. That is overlooked because I feel like consistency is the secret sauce in anything.
Yeah.
Because you can really do anything you want. I mean, we live in the freest country in the world.
Yeah.
But you have to be consistent at it. And you see that you do that, you have that consistency, you make those tweaks along the way so you can get better consistently. Yeah. I mean, you can be the best at anything you do. And so that's something that I applied, going into the industry and going into recruiting. That I think changed the game for me because at one point in time, my last company, I was the new guy on the block. And then I turned into the guy that everybody wanted me to work their job. Yeah. And that's my goal here is I'm just going to be that consistent guy. I'm not at the top of the crop right now just because I ain't been there the longest. But we'll see where things are a year from now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, keep working. Man,
yeah,
consistency is key, bro. I think consistency, if there was a formula for success, it should be consistency equals success. Whatever vehicle you can put yourself in any vehicle. Consistency equals success. Like that's the formula. You feel what I'm saying? Like I need to put that on a T-shirt. Matter of fact, but
that's fire.
Consistency, because like I think about any vehicle that I've been in. If obviously things happen the way they happen, whatever. But if I was to be consistent in each vehicle, like it'll be crazy where I would be
different.
Where you know what I'm saying? Different. Consistency. But I think because I was a victim to obviously I don't think I wasn't a victim to microwave society. I feel like I gave up. Sometimes in situations I gave up on myself a little bit too quickly, right? Or I felt like this life circumstances hit me so hard that I gotta give up on this because I need to do this because you know what I'm saying. People, you're not understanding what I'm going through right now. You know what I'm saying, and that could be the case. Like you could be going through some major life stuff, and people gonna want you to continue to stay consistent, which they are preaching the right thing. But in your mind, it's so crazy up here that you like, I gotta get out. But then you get out, you find peace or whatever, and then you obviously you can't let the itch go. You know what I'm saying? Once you get exposed to the itch of entrepreneurship,
success.
Like they always used to say, once you see it, you can't unsee it. So once you get like that, and you be like, you know what I'm saying? Like I know what's out there. It's just what vehicle do I find now to say this is where I'm going to go? But it's consistency, and I hear all the top athletes say it, like Chad Ocho, Johnson. He say it all the time, like consistency. LeBron, consistency, and I think with consistency plus not having a time limit, you know what I'm saying? It's like you gotta work. You gotta work like you gotta work as hard. Like if you could accomplish all your goals in a year or hit every single goal in a year, you gotta work that hard without removing the time.
Yeah,
it's like,
but
go ahead.
Yeah, but here's a tough part. Is it's the system that we're brought up in. And don't get me wrong, I'm very thankful for my college experience, my college degree. Yeah. I'm very thankful for what I do in my daytime work. But it's a system that's set up that people believe if I work for this amount of hours, I'm gonna get this amount of reward. Yeah. And you have to change that mindset. If you're gonna think big or you want to be that dude in life in general, you got to change that mindset. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with like if you just want to, say your job pays you $60,000 a year and you're content with that. That's totally cool. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong, especially if you came from that family that made 30 grand. I mean, if that's what you want, like that's what you feel is comfortable for you, that's totally cool. But if you're somebody that's watching this and you want to be a difference maker and you want to really chase after your dreams and goals, you got to take that time limit away. You have to, even if you're not an entrepreneur and you're just doing your corporate gig, you have to take the time factor away, because that's what's going to set you apart from everybody else. They're going to say, dang, yeah, Jim is great at what he's doing and he's been here for 30 years. But dang, I'm glad that Terry came in here, because Terry come in at 8:30. He's supposed to not start till 9, and he leaving at 5:30. He's supposed to leave at 5. That's what's going to set you apart if you're trying to get those promotions and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. And if you are in the entrepreneurship journey, if you're starting it early right now, that time, you got to take that time thing away, because this is not a job. Like you got to put the time in, because, and here's the cool thing about it though, when you take the time factor out, you can see success a lot earlier than other people, because they're putting the time constraint on it. But let's say you're putting 10 hours of effort into whatever your field is, or whatever you're doing, and that person's putting in 6 or 8, that time compounds. And I know you may have heard of the book, The Compound Effect, or The Side Edge. Yeah. That time adds up. I think about it for me as a college athlete or as a high school athlete. I told myself, no matter what I do, I'm getting a scholarship. But what people didn't see is, even though we had spring ball, I was staying after and running hills, and I was running the stadium, and I was running sprints on the field. I was going, even after our workouts, I was getting extra reps in on the bench and the squat. Yeah. Like, that's the stuff that set me apart from other guys, that when coaches came in, and I should have put this in Two Truths and a Lie, but I ran a 4.4 my junior year. I ran a 4.47. Yeah. That's how I got my first college offer. But what people didn't see is the 3 to 5 years before that I had been putting in that extra work to be able to do that.
Yeah, tan up.
And so that's an analogy that I'll use. Is like, that time factor, you got to take that out. I don't care if you're doing corporate or you're doing entrepreneurship. Like, if you put the extra time in, you will be surprised at where you're at in the next 12 to 24 months. You could be, if you're in your corporate gig, you could get a promotion that you didn't even think you were going to be up for, but they just going to be like, this dude is different. Yeah. Here's the reason why. Is because you bring a different value to the organization that you're a part of that somebody else is not bringing. And so that's why I think that part is very, very important for people to understand. Like you said, like, that time factor, I mean, obviously, have your priorities in line, but put a little bit of extra time in. It'll make a difference. If you're not making the money you want to make right now, you put a little bit more time in, it'll change things very quickly over time.
That's a fact, man. That is a fact. And then you take the time out, and I think it's a combination of so many different factors. You got social media. That's the biggest thing. Is like, you look at social media and you see other people's success. Yep. But you don't see the time that they put in to get that success. You know what I'm saying? Yep. That's the downside of social media. It's great for as far as networking, as far as seeing dreams, or really getting a vision of what you want to live like. Mm-hmm. But it hurts because that person posted it at April 17th, 10:05 today. Oh, they made it happen right now. But you don't know that 5-10 years ago, they had to build up to April 17th to 10 o'clock tonight to post that picture.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, there's a little bit hidden work behind it. And I think everybody's a victim to it. Like, even myself, like obviously I'm a victim of, dang, like, I ain't hit all the goals I wanted to hit in the time I wanted to. But I removed the time and just say, hey, once you realize you're not in control, to be honest, nobody's really in control. Yep. So you take that out, you know what I'm saying? And then you can kind of live freely and kind of really enjoy life, as far as like, okay, I'm working really hard in my purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like, like the podcast, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be completely honest. Like, this weekend, I just haven't had the energy to really sit down and do, the talks that I was supposed to have. But every time I said, bump that feeling, I still got to do it, because I owe the person that I'm talking to, and I owe myself this opportunity. And every time I get on, it's like, oh, great conversation. I'm glad I didn't miss this.
It's going down. What I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, and that's just like how it goes. Just like, dang, I'm glad I didn't miss this. Who knows if I would have did it 2 days ago, two days later, the conversation probably wouldn't even be the same. So it's just, man, once you really, pretty much what you just giving them is the game of living a free life, you know what I'm saying? Versus
a free, successful life.
With all the restraints, you know what I'm saying? And it is hard for people to come across. You really have to be, you have to think about it. You really have to challenge yourself to see where why you get so frustrated, why you get so upset. And it was coming to the point where I was so upset, so stressed because I was so focused on I'm not where I want to be. Yeah. I had to be like, bump it. But look how far they came. Kind of how you said. Like my ground zero, I ain't doing that but going up. You know what I'm saying? So I got to look at it. It's the perspective that you look at it versus how you. But man, come on, man. You out here preaching, dog, man. I got to tell you, this dude out here crazy. But, man, listen. It's been a great conversation, man. Like we've been chopping it up for a little minute, and we talk. I ain't really had a phone conversation with you in a while, and it's just like, man, it's like you never miss a beat. You know what I'm saying? Like with people that
just pick back up,
like-minded people, and you know we always chop it up, always looking at each other from social media. That's another great thing is I can always keep a contact, keep an eye on people that I really rock with. And just keep seeing them excel like they doing great. I love it. Like I knew he would. You know what I'm saying? Because we not no haters or anything like that, and we always gonna celebrate each other's success no matter where we are.
Collaboration is the best, bro.
Yeah, it's the best, and so it's dope. But before you go, man, you know how I gotta get. I got like 6 questions for you. You got 5 seconds. Right. You got 5 seconds to answer each question. And then after that, I need a recommendation. You know what I'm saying? As far as who I should talk to.
Oh, I got one for you.
Yeah, that fits
the mold. I got one for you.
Oh, I got one for you.
Yes, sir.
But that's dope. And so, you ready for these questions?
Yep, let's run it.
All right, man. It ain't going to be too hard. Nothing crazy. Here we go. Favorite TV show to binge watch?
Ooh. I'll have one.
Oh, that man say he ain't got one.
That's tough.
That's tough. Okay, you ain't got nothing. I'm gonna give you a little bit more time to think. You ain't got nothing?
TV shows? No, okay, it's not really like a TV show like on something.
Right.
But Deion Sanders, like his little show that he does with his football team.
Yeah.
Love that, bro.
Okay.
Those little episodes he done with Barstool or whatever.
Yeah.
Now that's fire.
Okay, cool. Got it. What's the quality people enjoy about you?
My how personable that I am.
Okay, personable. That's everybody that's watching this, that's gonna hear this, that's gonna view this, they gonna see like, man, this dude is definitely personable. All right, we got 25 hours in a day, not 24. How do you spend the extra hour?
How to spend the extra hour?
Yeah.
Ooh. I'm spending it traveling.
You ain't traveling. Where you gonna go in an hour?
Hey, go somewhere.
You gonna go somewhere. That's what's
catch
up.
A flight.
Catch a
flight in
an hour. You can catch a flight. You can catch a flight. All right. What's something / activity that you can do every day besides sleep?
Hoop.
He is a big hooper. He got a nice.
I'll get some buckets now.
Yeah, he gets some buckets. He got a nice. He a lefty. He got a nice little.
Throw people out. Throw people all the way off.
Got a little quick stroke on him. Got a little something.
Yep.
Right. What's more memorable, movies or music?
Movies.
Okay. Why you say movies?
I say movies because I think it depends. It definitely depends on the movie that you're watching. Mm-hmm. But the type of movies that I like, I like movies with messages in them.
Yeah.
And so those are more memorable for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I just like watching movies that have a lot of symbolism in them.
Yeah, I like that. I'm a movies guy too. It's rare that I get people that say movies, so I always got to ask like, why movies? Just because it's rare. But I think I can definitely see sometimes a correlation as far as like I think as an athlete we draw towards messages in movies because there's some type of relatability as far as there's that all movies have this climax, right? This drop, this epic fail, and then they working their way back up to get to the top of the mountain, and then it's like you can pull from that. You can also when you share and talk to people, you can share in parables. You know what I'm saying? And you can it gives for a better imaging. Versus with music, it's just kind of like, you hearing a beat. And don't get me wrong, music is like that, but movies is different, man.
Yeah, that's a fact.
It's different. All right, last one. If you could time travel, what period would you go back to?
Mm, I would go back to the period of time with Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and those guys, just to glean from their knowledge,
Yeah.
um, and why they did what they did.
Okay. That's a new one. That's a new perspective. That's hard. I would love to be. I would love to just. That's something different. I would love to see. Where their mindset was at. How deep was. Where they. What I'm saying? Like how deeply. Did they feel about? Obviously, they felt
Yeah,
deeply about their culture, their people, and really helping people because they died for it. But
yo,
I had a guy I was talking to not too long ago. My last one, he was like he would want to go back to the times of like Africa, like
hmm
how we lived before slavery and stuff like that. Just to really
oh
see
wow,
how we lived and just how we were treated as kings and queens. You know,
yeah,
in our own little, the motherland, and it's just to get that image. Like if you could show black people that image now, like how they we used to live, like
it
that
changed their
would
perspective.
it'll change us as a culture. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm
differently, but because we don't have that image or that picture, we looking at so many other different cultures and just the culture that we were able to create in America. We kind of created. So it's just he when he said it, I was like, man, that'd be super dope just to kind of go back in time and see that. Um,
Yeah,
but that'd be hard. But nah, man. So what's your well, first of all, I want to say thank you.
no
I
problem, man.
always want to say thank you, man, because you took a time out your day. I know it's late on your end. It's the East Coast, but
It's
I
all
know
good. I'm a night owl.
I was about to
I'm
say
good.
I know you're a night owl. But I just want to say thank you, man, because you didn't have to do this, and I appreciate you for just even saying yes and just making it work and just hopping on
Yes,
because
sir.
you gave so much game, man. I always continue to learn from everybody I sit down with and just be able to pick up on their mindset, whether it's even just a reminder. You know what I'm saying? That hey, you on the right track. You know what I'm saying? Just keep going,
Yeah,
keep pushing. I always love that, and you provide that for me. Today, man, just to understand, like, man, Tyreek's doing great. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just keep pushing because I see Tyreek keep pushing, and I can't let
yes,
him down.
sir.
You know what I'm saying? I can't let him down. I know he rooting for me just like I'm rooting for him. So we're gonna keep going.
Yo,
But who's your recommendation?
cool. Yeah, I'm gonna give you the recommendation if you don't mind, and I'm gonna wrap up with two quotes to give people to chew on at the end of the podcast.
Bet.
But yeah, my recommendation, bro, is Demaje Rooks.
Ooh.
I know you know Majay. I don't know if he's been recommended or not yet, but
Nah.
I think he'll be a good person to bring a different perspective for people.
Right.
Because he's been a serial entrepreneur for a while. I'm
Yeah.
still, obviously I'm still in the corporate deal and I do entrepreneurship. I think he'll be a good person for people to get a full picture of the serial entrepreneur
Yeah.
and what that looks like. And he'll be able to give some good gems from that. I think he'll be a good guy to just bring a different flavor to the podcast, bro.
Yeah.
And the dude hard.
That'll be cold. I'm gonna have to chop it up with him and get him on here, man. That'll be cold for
Yes,
real.
sir.
Let's hear the give us the gems,
Yeah,
man.
the
The
two
quotes
quotes.
that you
Yeah,
got.
two quotes I want to leave with everybody to chew on when they check this out. They got to stay to the end to get these. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
Extra credit.
yeah.
But the first one is don't be a victim of your environment. Create the environment you want to be a part of, or that
Mhm.
you glean to be a part of. And that second one is, dang, I forgot the second one, bro.
It'll come to you.
Oh no! The second one is um, figure out your why, and then figure out the vehicle that will help you attain that why. Don't settle for where you're at.
That's what's up, man. I ain't even gonna say nothing, man.
Mm.
Y'all just chew on them. You take it. You take it as you may. If it hits you, it hits you. If it go over your head, it go over
Yo,
your head. But nah, we're gonna try to leave it at that, man. Reek, bro, I love you, man. I appreciate you. Keep going hard. Congratulations. Tell the fiance I said what's up. Y'all
got you.
always good people, man. I love just seeing y'all, grow and glow. It's amazing, man. But thank you, man. I'm gonna let you get your night back and just hit me up if you ever need anything. If there's anything I can do to help, just let me know.
Absolutely.
And I'm here for you. The podcast is here, man.
Yeah, we chop it up, man.
All right, bet, bro.
Peace.
Peace.